Agricultural engineering is an interdisciplinary field combining engineering technology and biological sciences and applying them to agriculture and the production of food. Agricultural engineers can do anything from designing food storage to agricultural machinery and equipment.
Agricultural engineering is universal. Every country needs to know how to make use of its land and to feed its people and sustain its economy with exports. Agricultural engineers have a place in every country, aiding people in food production from the avocados of western Mexico to the wheat and rice of southeastern China. Here to talk to us about agriculture engineering is Maria L. Chu from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign.
So my specialty, the agricultural engineering here in Illinois is divided into different sections. Okay, so we have machinery, we have bioenergy, and I am in the soil and water section.
That's awesome.
Okay, so my specialty basically is soil and water engineering. My degree is, just to give you a background, my bachelor degree is in civil engineering.
Okay.
And then my master's is in hydrology and water resources.
Okay.
And then my PhD is in biosystems, focusing on natural resources. And my research, the research that I've been doing, is really focused on soil and water.
Additionally, their jobs bring them to many different locations, such as the factory, field, or the conventional office space. A popular path for agricultural engineers to follow is academia, like Maria Chu, the woman we interviewed. Working at a university, professors are able to do research that they want to do to further their field. They are well funded and can teach their students about relevant and significant areas of study that the future engineers will bring into their own work.
I am investigating watershed and ecosystem dynamics due to climate change and land use changes. Okay, so for example, you know what climate change is.
Yes.
So the climate change will affect the distribution, the circulation of water in the watershed, and then this will eventually affect the ecosystem. For example, fish population, right? The amount of water that we get from the ecosystem, water supply. It can also affect what other things? Wildlife in the ecosystem. So this is what I am investigating. So I am trying to evaluate the link between climate change and how eventually will it affect the ecosystem. Okay, or land use change. Okay, so sometimes we build, malls, buildings. Okay, so we change the cover or the land use of the land, and that this will eventually affect the ecosystem as well.
Apart from food production, agricultural engineers take part in conservation and environmental efforts, such as sustainable farming, soil and water conservation, and land preservation. In this multifaceted field, engineers can work for a corporation, as a contractor, in academia, or with small farming businesses.
Engineering is a really, I don't know how to say it, cool profession, because it will really change the way you are. It's so different from other professions. It's really different. You will get to that level. The way you think will change. Okay, the way you think, the way you look at things will change. Your logic will change. Okay, you always look at things in a different perspective compared to your other peers. So it is really a very, very cool profession. You create, you construct, you design, and I mean, come on, the world is run by engineers, really.
Yeah.
So my advice is that if this is really something that you want, okay, if this is really something that you want, then you have to develop the correct attitude for it. Okay. It is it is tough, because just to give you an example of a typical student in engineering, and maybe in high school you already did that. So when you are studying in mathematics, if you are an engineering student, you don't scan your notes. you solve problems. You practice to solve. You actually, write with your pencil, with your calculator, and you actually solve. You don't memorize things. And
Yeah.
that is the attitude that you have to develop as an engineer. You are persistent. Okay? You never stop just because you didn't solve it the first time. You'll stop there.
Agricultural engineers play an invaluable role in the present day with respect to climate change. From the rising sea levels affecting coastal villages to the drought in California, food production has been affected. Agricultural engineers need to work past these problems to develop solutions to ensure the safety of the food production process and work to reverse what has already been affected by climate change, such as water and air pollution and damaged ecosystems, among many others.